possible. And I think Elon just got in there. So I actually didn't really want to, no, but everyone's asking like, what's our plan, etc. So I didn't want to bother him with a lot of questions, suggestions, etc. I think he knows how to run a platform. He's a very strong entrepreneur. We want to be in the supportive position. And he did mention about Dogecoin, charging per tweet, charging per comment, charging for the blue tick. I think all of those things are seems coming. I did not ask for a detailed plan for it. We want to be very supportive on anything that Twitter do with crypto Web3. We have all the technologies, we have the know-how, we have the products. So we're here, we're ready to help. But I think my view is let's give Elon some time to get adjusted. He has a lot of people to fire, a lot of things to change. Let's give him some time to settle in, and then we'll see how we can help. So that's our stance on Twitter. And the first one's easy. I think Elon's still deciding about the board. So I'm indifferent to it. If he asks me to do it, I probably will. I think, but it's actually not something I fully enjoy. I don't enjoy sitting in long meetings with, I enjoy much more one-to-one interactions, much quicker, much faster. But if I'm asked, I probably will do it just, as a favor, etc. But it's not something I'm dying to do. I'm pretty busy with Binance already. Second problem is also a very simple answer. I think it's very easy to just accept, a dozen, a couple hundred cryptocurrencies as payments. We already have a solution that does that, Binance Pay. Users can choose to pay in whatever currency they choose, whatever coin or currency or fiat currency they choose. They monitor very publicly, we'll monitor very carefully. And also, luckily, we also get community reports. If there's an address that bought a lot of coin the day before we list the coin, we know. We will look into it and we'll trace the transactions, etc. So the transparent nature of the blockchain technology actually helps us to resolve that problem quite a bit. Twitter enabling which coin to accept for payments, you will have some impact. But compared to the impact of a coin being listed on Binance today, I think that impact is smaller, to be very frank. So we already deal with that problem. It's subjective. But we already deal with that problem today, and we have a very thorough process for dealing with that. I never met him in person because of COVID and everything. He's busy, I'm busy. I think hanging out with him might not be the most time efficient thing, but if we happen to be in the same city, I wouldn't mind it if he's a good drinker. That's our relationship. On Netherlands DNB, we are in the registration process. I visited Netherlands, people here on this trip about the tax situation. I haven't got a clear response on exactly what that will be. So it seems like they're still being discussed. My understanding is not signed into law yet. But the discussion of that does have some impact in the industry. Of course, people generally prefer jurisdictions or geographies that have lower tax. And also how the tax is implemented has some implications. We've seen countries like India that want to tax 30% per transaction. So every time you buy or sell, the government takes 30% away. Guess what? People's not going to trade there. Not 30%, 1.2%, my apologies. But if you trade 50 times a day, you're not going to have much money left. Right, so so that in those places, the trading volume will not happen. If you tax, say, 30% or 50% tax per transaction, people are not going to transact. You're just going to kill the industry. You're not going to collect much more taxes. Right, so if we take the numbers to some extremes, we'll see that extremely high, extremely low numbers doesn't work. A reasonable number will work better. Right, so if you tax if you tax on capital gains, most people will be able to accept it in some way. So there is generally a high level of acceptance on paying taxes for businesses like ours. Per transaction taxes really reduce the liquidity. When the liquidity is bad in a country, people trade in on exchanges in other countries. So so we still have to see how that situation turns out. But generally, overly high taxes are not good. That's just common sense. That's for us. I was at the speakers' dinner. The mayor of Lisbon was there. The economic minister was there. We're looking to expand our presence here. We already have quite a large number of team members here. We're talking with mayor of Lisbon about an office here, etc. So we're looking forward to do a lot more here in a compliant, registered, regulated way. There are sanctions harder on the crypto services compared to banks, right? So yeah. So but I have the same question, but we don't get to decide. So we have licenses in Europe. Those entities will not be able to service Russian users. We also have a license in other places. We're communicating with other regulators to see, like, are they okay with us servicing Russian users? So it's a tricky situation. I'm not an expert. We're still looking for expert opinions on in different places. So but for us, for me, it's not a decision. It's if a jurisdiction, if EU says, okay, any EU company, entity, registered license, we're licensed in the EU, we have licenses, we have registrations in France, Italy, Spain, Lithuania, Sweden, where else? A couple other places. Then with those entities just gotta comply. It's not a decision for me to make. It's just we gotta follow the rules. Yeah, how that plays out internationally, we have to see. So we're waiting for expert advice on some of those issues. Why banks are not sanctioned, I don't know. It's a very good question. So yeah, it's a tough situation. But yeah, our philosophy is we're not against any people. We're against dictators of war, etc. We're not against any mass population of people. But we, as a business, we're licensed in many different places. We have to follow the local rules.